let's get into it, and let's start with everyone's favorite for guard in the draft, going round one, Mr. Osiris Torrance, and that's Mr. Brett McDurphy's going to talk about him.
This is a kid that I think everybody wants Buffalo to go after. He fits exactly what Buffalo needs in a guard. He is a zone blocker who excels in the run game. He gets to his defender. He makes sure that he clears his defender and then gets to the second level in the run game. But he also is very smart as well. And when he's in the passing game, what he'll do is he'll take care of his defender. He also is very good at helping the person next to him and going to him and then making sure that he's helping double team the next guy that he needs to go after. He's got some very good aspects in him, and my pro comparison to him is Larry Allen. I think that he reminds me so much of Larry Allen, exactly what Buffalo needs. He didn't allow a sack in over 3,000 snaps in his career. He has played against some of the biggest names in the SEC as well. I'm going to get his name wrong, but I think it's Jalen Carter that he went up against with the Georgia. He held his own. He held his own against them. Has some really good things going for him. 4-year starter at Florida. Very good player. He hits exactly, like I said, what Buffalo needs. His draft stock right now is 34th, which is right where Buffalo is going to be picking. You could potentially move back a little bit, get some more picks for Buffalo, and then go grab Osiris Torrance. But I really believe that this kid is going to go way sooner than that 34th overall pick for him. He's got some very good qualities for him, but he's not so quick with his hands. That's the biggest thing that he needs to generate more power. That's one of the things that people are saying about him. He also he's 325 pounds. I know it says 337 on here. It's about 325 that they're projecting him to be at. So that number concerns me a little bit because he might lack a little bit of stamina as well. And he's a little bit too mechanical at times, so that allows defenders to go after him. But I really like this kid, and I think these are all things that, as a coach, you can definitely fix. I think that he's going to be a really good prospect, and if Buffalo goes after him, he's a zone blocker, does that very well, and I think he fits exactly what Aaron Cromer is going to look for in an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I do want to have one correction. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, you would know this. I believe Torrance transferred to Florida in this past year. I don't think he's been a 4-year starter for them.
That's
am
right.
I wrong there or am I incorrect?
Yeah, he was at Louisiana Lafayette, I want to
say. Yes.
Yeah.
So just one correction there. But everyone who talks about this guy is just like, wanting Buffalo to take him for sure. I want Buffalo to take him for sure if this guy's available. Jake, I know you love this guy. You've been talking him up.
Oh yeah.
I'll start with you, Sean, first. Any thoughts on Mr. Torrance?
Yeah, like Brett said, all the things that seem to be an issue with him are all coachable and fixable. And, the speed's a little bit, unfortunate because you got a guy like Josh who's constantly moving around. So that could potentially be an issue. But just like Mekhi Becton, I mean, he came in, he was like 400 pounds. So he needed to drop a little bit of weight. It says Brett says that he's projected to be 325. I think if he can get to 325, 320, because of his speed. I mean, if he was 325 and running a 5'1" or a 5'2", that'd be different. But the speed is definitely the only thing concerning for me. And I think if he's at 27, you can't pass him up because then he's going to be gone probably at 28 or 29. And behind you got the Chiefs picking, and you don't want them to get another great weapon on their offense. So you definitely got you can't pass up.
Yeah, Sean, let me ask you a question, buddy. The height for Osiris Torrance at 6'5", does that concern you a little bit too?
No, for me, a guard height is between 6'3" and 6'5" for me is perfect. I mean, if you're 6'2", also that could be fine as well. But I think for me, 6'5" is the highest that I would prefer. And from what he's performed, he's been phenomenal at the position. And the weight for him seems to be the only concerning thing with the speed. But if he could drop a little bit of weight and get the speed up, I think his height's fine, his weight's fine. He's 6'5", 330. I think that's very good.
Jake, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you this. So the tape that I've watched on him, guys, I know you're looking at that 40 time, 5.4. You know, you can only put so much stock into that for an offensive lineman. First off, you're not seeing an old lineman run 40 yards downfield. And if they are, it's a hell of a hustle play for them, or they're chasing down to make a tackle on a game-saving interception or whatever it may be. His lateral quickness, I think, is the biggest thing. And that is huge as a guard. You want to see a guy that's able to get out in front, pull, play on, do some of those more athletic plays. And he is just fantastic at that. So I think that's what really stood out to me. His game speed matches up better than what his 40-yard time is. And that's why a lot of people are sort of, they're not as concerned about that being a 5.4, even if he does run that. I don't even know if that's what he's going to run. But I think, there's some concern. Obviously, you look at straightaway speed, but his lateral quickness is fantastic. So I'm not concerned at all in the least bit. And he's an absolute mauler that has played at the highest level.
Yeah. Of the targets that we're going to talk about, I think he's definitely the only first rounder we'll take, but we'll see. We got some others to talk about, so let's get into it. Love this pick, Brett. I think every time I look anywhere as far as draft boards go, he's your number one guard off the board.
Yeah.
We'll probably take a running back, though, unfortunately.
Come on.
Come on. We've never taken a running. We don't take running backs in the first round.
We haven't since Willis McGahee, or no, CJ Spiller. I'm sorry.
We've upset a lot of people by doing that in the last few years, by the way, my dad included.
Yep.
Let me throw this to you, Jake. This is your guy, Andrew Voorhees.
I love him. No relation to Jason, by the way. This guy, what I love about him, first off, is that he's a super senior. He's played 5 years. He started all 5 years for USC, and his football IQ is through the charts. He's as good as it gets with that. He's an extremely good run blocker, pretty damn good pass blocker as well. He's a little bit bigger playing guard at 6'6", 325, almost like a tackle build. But I think what's big about him is the fact that his steps, you look at how he does move laterally. He moves better as a guard than he does as a tackle. I think it's more of a natural fit for him. What's big about it, I think the biggest thing to take away from it is the fact that he's 24 years old. He started all 5 seasons at USC as a super senior because of the COVID year. And I'll tell you what, man, I really think, in terms of when you look at guards pound for pound and what they can do, his combination of size, strength, and speed is second to none. I mean, really, you look at Osiris Torrance, obviously you're a little concerned about, his 40-yard dash and whatnot. I mean, he's projected to run 5'1", and he's 6'6", 325. Also, he's on Bruce Feldman's freak list. Supposedly, he's going to put up 40 reps at 225. That's what a lot of people are saying, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I believe it. I think he's going to do it. You could see his strength on the field, the way he absolutely moves guys. He's a freaking mountain out there on the field. Would love to have this guy. I have him higher than a third-round pick. I think we get him in the second round. I think that's a steal for us. So I'll tell you what, man, I think this is a guy that's going to be trending upward, absolutely. And I am over the moon about him. Again, good football IQ guy, tough, gritty guy, athlete. Very good technique, everything you want in an offensive lineman. Should have been a Big Ten O lineman, not a Pac-12 O lineman, but I love it.
I love it, Jake. Brett, you got any thoughts on Mr. Voorhees?
I love him. I think that he's another guy that Buffalo could go after, especially considering what's going to happen in free agency. Buffalo might have to go after a linebacker or a cornerback or safety early. So I think that this fits exactly what Buffalo is looking at. And potentially if Osiris goes earlier, this would be a very nice complement piece for Buffalo to go after. The one thing that I think that he fits better at, Jake, compared to guard, is he's also a very good tackle too. Right. And I think he might fit in with another team at tackle though. So I would love to have him, but I think he might be a tackle in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, Timmy's saying you don't get your trench guys from soft.
I knew he was going to go there. That's why I had to say something.
What does he have about the colleges in Southern California?
No, he's 100% right, Mike. No offense to you Californians out there, but the Big Ten, there's a reason why the Big Ten breeds O-linemen and the Pac-12 does not. With exception, there were a couple guys, Isaac Samalo being one of them. He's a Pac-12 guy. Some of those guards, those interior guys from the Pac-12, they've turned out pretty well, and I think he is an exception. Timmy, I think you got to give this young man the pass.
Sean, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's built like a tank.
Yeah.
And again, IQ, like Jake mentioned, that's very important because you got Mitch Morse next to you, hopefully, and he's very smart. And you got another smart guy. Just offensive line, people may think it's just like a big group position, but you have to be intelligent and have a good IQ. So that's very important. Strength, obviously, if he's that much of a beast, getting 40 reps. I mean, he's a little bit better than me. That on the 225 reps.
Just a tad,
Yeah, just a tad.
not much.
But, so I got to give him a little bit of credit for that. But what Jake said perfectly about how he moves his feet as a guard, even though he's quite tall, that's a case sometimes. But like when people try to move like Cody Ford back to guard when he was better at a tackle position, it's not for everybody. So he's a guy that doesn't fit that mold where he could do both, and he's better at guard even though he's tall. So that doesn't worry me because of he's able to perform that way. Some people just can't perform that way.
A lot of comparisons to Tevin Jenkins, too, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Very similar stature, 6'6", 320. He was drafted by the Bears last year out of Oklahoma State. A lot of people comparing him to Tevin Jenkins. Actually, 2 years ago, 2021. Holy cow. It's been a while.
All right. Well, good stuff. Let's move on to Sean's target, Mr. Steve Avila. I think I spelled his name wrong there up there, so forgive me on that.
You have it right.
Do I have it right?
Mm.
All right. Steve Avila from TCU. Talk to us, Sean.
Yeah, so he graded 71 last year in 540 pass block snaps, 0 sacks, 9 hurries, 2 hits. And his wingspan 79, which is 66th percentile, which is pretty good. 2021 first team AP All Big 12. And this guy, like it says here, he anchors really well. He's got great strength, and he's very versatile. He's not that great with like Jake mentioned, the other guy was good. Torrance was a good lateral movement. This guy isn't the best at it, but that's something you can be coached at. And again, between a second and fourth round pick for him, I think if we could get him, that's a good steal because all this stuff is coachable. And he's so young. He's got a great build. I'm just really excited for him. And he played on a TCU team who was very, very great this year and didn't play well in the championship game as a team, but he was part of the reason why they were successful. And I'm excited to see what he does at the combine. And I would love to add him on the team. If you get Torrance, obviously you're not going to get him, but I think he's a good option if you can't get Torrance in the first round. If he's sitting there in the second round and you missed out on Torrance, he's not too far behind talent-wise, I don't believe.
He had a really good Senior Bowl showing, so he's really improved just what people saw in the Senior Bowl. And that's why you see it up there in the draft projection, anywhere from a second to mid-fourth. I think that mid-fourth was early on before the Senior Bowl. And who knows, after the combine, like you said, they can shoot up even more. So I really like that pick. Thoughts on Mr. Avila, Jake?
I love him. I think it would be an absolute, just a hammer pick. I would be all for it, Mike. The versatility is the biggest thing. Obviously, being able to play both guard and center is huge. Brandon Beane values that. Sean McDermott values that. And I love the height and weight. The size is good. And, size and power. That's the biggest thing with this young man. I think he's actually somewhat similar to our guy, Isaac Seumalo, as well, because they're very similar in stature. They're, I guess, not short and stocky or anything like that, but they're just these maulers, just moving they're just mountains out there, just moving these people like nothing. So that's the biggest takeaway from him. And his Senior Bowl was incredible.
Yeah. I'm excited to get any of these guys that we're talking about. I'm telling you, can't wait for that draft.
Attitude
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Brett, did you have any thoughts?
I absolutely love this kid. I've been watching a lot of TCU play. He played for Sonny Dykes, who's an excellent coach. Came over from SMU last year, and he really transformed this TCU team, took them to the next level, brought them to number 2 in the rankings. And I think this kid fits exactly what Buffalo needs if you miss out on Osiris Torrance. So I'd love to have him.
All right, excellent stuff here. Let's move on to our last draft target. Talking about Mr. Versatility, Cody Mock. All right, Cody played at North Dakota State. He's been a tackle there. Now, he's on the smaller size for a tackle, 6'6", 305. When I say smaller, is his arm length. So at the Senior Bowl, he had a very good showing. Depending on who you watch, they loved him or they were like he struggled a little bit. But the reason he would struggle, he's been a left tackle all his career. He came in as a tight end at 221 and was able to bulk up pretty quickly. This guy's a beast. You got to watch some film on him. And at the Senior Bowl, they moved him over to guard, and then they moved him over to center. And he did a great job there as well. So, of course, he's going to struggle when you've played tackle all your career. Let's move him over to guard. It's going to take a little bit to adjust. What's the laughter? What am I missing? Who's he look like?
The red-haired Sean. That's what they're saying. These guys are saying we have a little private chat over here too. Brett says looks like a red-haired Sean. I don't know about that. Sean, you got better teeth than this guy. I'll tell you that.
Oh, good.
He looks like a red-haired Sean with long hair.
What, does everyone who has a beard look like Sean now? Come on, I mean,
Pretty much.
Risner.
Everybody,
like
Sean.
But this kid, seriously, I mean, he look at his speed, 4.88. He didn't lose when he went from 221 to where he is right now at 305. I think he needs to add a little more weight if he's going to play at guard. What nice versatility. If you had to move him out to tackle in an emergency case, that he could do that. And again, they tried him out at center as well. And very fast. People are expecting him to go mid-second round, late second round. Actually, absolutely love this guy. So, is he a first rounder? No, but we're going to have a conversation when we get to the first round, when we get in our mock draft here. But thoughts on him? I'll throw it to you, Brett. Any thoughts on Mr. Cody Mock?
This kid is a freak athlete. That's the biggest thing I can say about him. He started off his career, like you said, at tight end. He came into the program, and he has been a terrific blocker throughout his career. And he is someone who I think Buffalo would love to have. I think he's exactly what Buffalo is looking for in a guard. And I think he's going to be a fan favorite if he does come to Buffalo. So I just would love to see the red hair in Buffalo in the snow. I think it would be a great fit. I just want to see that snow just on his hair and everything. I think it would be a good fit for Buffalo. So I think he's someone Buffalo should go after, and he'll definitely be a fan favorite here. Trust me.
I agree. I'm going to throw that to Sean real quick. And Sean, one concern I have, and something you said a couple shows ago really stuck with me, and that is drafting guys from bigger colleges, right? He's coming from a smaller college, hasn't really faced the elite guys out there. Did okay in a Senior Bowl, but that was just a few days of practice in that. That's my only concern. But what do you have to say about this guy?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody could put on 85 pounds and still be very fast, I mean, he looks great just in that picture. He's definitely got a great work ethic, and I mean, he kind of gives me Spencer Brown vibes, but I think he's probably better than Spencer Brown. But like you said, he could play multiple positions. Spencer Brown can't. I think this guy is the type of guy where he could go in and give some guy like Spencer Brown a kick in the ass, and then you really find out what he's about, because he's coming in, young buck. They both got that mean mentality, I guess, and one of them's got to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk. He seems like a guy that can do that. And but if he is playing guard, I mean, if you put him next to Spencer Brown, you got two undersized offensive linemen next to each other. I think he's got to put on a little bit more size, maybe like 15 more pounds, 10 pounds. And we expected Spencer Brown to do that, and he hasn't been able to do it. But, I mean, he already went from 221 to 305. I mean, and he's able to still move in his body. I think that's great. But I will say, Mike, there is some – I did see a couple drafts ago. I think it was either 2020 or 2019. The Jaguars drafted a guard who played the college that I go to in their Division III. So I've seen small college offensive linemen go into the pro. But, it is we do that a lot where we think we're outsmarting people by picking from smaller colleges. Like, they don't know about this guy. Let's go grab one. But based off of what I've seen from him, I think he could definitely be an asset. And I don't think being at a smaller college will affect him as much as it might affect other people.
Good point there, Sean. Yeah, I wish I got a smile. He's missing a couple teeth up front. He's a brawler, man.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is a physical dude.
Maybe he played hockey.
He will punch. He might have played all sports. Jake, you have any thoughts on him?
Everything you want in an offensive lineman. I mean, he could play anywhere. He's a team guy. He comes from a successful program. North Dakota State has just bred national championships over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, that entire program is just absolutely incredible. So I think coming from a successful program is important. Transitioning to the NFL, obviously it's a big step up, but I think having that background is also something that is underrated. So would love to get a guy like that. Absolutely.